Hey guys, Salty Alley here today, and we're talking feeding your fish. So as you can see here, I have tons of different food varieties available here at OSA, and we're going to talk about it. So first off, our absolute favorite thing to use is frozen food. As you can see here, I have tons and tons of different options for frozen food. Each one is special in its own way. So with fish, just like anything, you want variety in their diet. So with us, if we were to eat one healthy thing our whole life, so apples are good for you, right? So you eat it, it's good for you, but if that's all you ate for your whole life, you would be very deficient in many minerals, proteins, and a lot of things that you'd be lacking from just eating that one single item. So that's what happens with fish too. So with saltwater fish, I know I'm at Seacog talking freshwater, but we're talking saltwater today too. Mysis shrimp, brine shrimp, mega marine, spirulina brine. There's so many options for saltwater, and honestly, you can feed all of them. I have sometimes people ask me, well, is it okay? I usually only feed them this. Yes, it's totally okay. It will not make your fish's tummy hurt. They will be just fine. If anything, they'll be very happy about it. They love variety and they love to change things up and get something different. I mean, I would. You know, I don't like to do the same thing all the time. They're the same way. So there's things that are singular proteins like spirulina brine, mysis shrimp. These are just mysis, just brine, and a very good treat to mix into your food mix. But you could also do something like mega marine. Mega marine is a really good saltwater food because it's full of different proteins. So there's, let's see, ocean plankton, krill, shrimp, sea urchins, sea worms, clams, mussels, the list goes on. And there's so much variety in that just one cube. So usually that's what I recommend for everyone's staple diet is the mega marine for your saltwater fish. Also, sea veggies. This is the seaweed from Julian Sprung's Two Little Fishies. This is really good for all your herbivore fish, so your tangs, your fox faces, your angels. That's where this comes into play, but also in freshwater as well. So your African cichlids, severums, those are all herbivore fish that need a more plant-based diet. So that comes in hand for them as well. And then also in saltwater, you're going to feed a lot of clams, most likely, because there's a lot of fish that will eat these. So like butterflies, triggers, pufferfish, they all need clams. Especially the puffers, they need to wear down that beak. So throwing in a clam on a half shell is good for them, but it's also for freshwater as well. Puffers in freshwater will enjoy them, and a lot of fish just like to pick at them. Our geophagus in our show tank absolutely love them. There's also rotifers, small foods. There's lots of options for all sizes of fish. So rotifers are really good for newborn baby fish, both freshwater, saltwater, and also really good for coral as well. So that's where that comes in handy. Another option is the rods food. This is another really great food that we carry here at OSA. We have lots of different options. These are two I grabbed. This is the krill and the original blend. Really good for saltwater fish. You could technically feed it to freshwater. That won't hurt anything. But the original blend has a lot of very small particles for corals and inverts as well. So really not as good for freshwater. But you could do it. So once we move past saltwater, which again is our favorite because it's a whole protein diet, you get into more processed foods, which are okay too. You know, life gets busy, we're doing a lot of things, we don't always have time to thaw food out, and we just want to throw some food in. So that's where pellets and freeze-dried and flakes come in handy. So here at OSA, we carry all the Hikari products for our pellet food. So there's a lot of options really for every type of fish over there. African cichlids, there's floating, there's sinking, there's all different options for what you prefer. Sinking pellets are great for the Africans because they'll pick them up off the bottom, and floating is good as well. We've got some for South American cichlids, which is a more meaty diet. You always want to make sure when you're selecting a food, for instance for all of them, that you're focusing on what type of fish you have and what their diet should be. And that's why when you're mixing fish together, that's one thing to keep in mind as well. You don't want to mix super heavy carnivores with super heavy herbivores. It just doesn't seem to work very well. It's hard to feed one fish and not the others and vice versa. So just keep that in mind. And for example, our African cichlid tank does have some mixed in Haplotachromis, and there's like the gar, and they are more of a meat-based fish. So we do kind of mix in some of our cichlid gold food as well for those guys. So you can do it, but it can be a little more difficult, and you do have to kind of start purchasing two different types of food. So just keep that in mind. For your smaller, more tropical fish, we carry the vibrobites. We absolutely love vibrobites here. The fish absolutely love it, and pretty much every fish takes to it right away. It's a really good food for any of your new fish that you bring into the aquarium, and they seem to just go for it right away. It looks a lot like a bloodworm, so fish like discus and angels, they kind of go for it right away. So really good food, and that's a well-balanced diet. That's the thing with the pellets and the flakes, is they're They're a processed food, but it's everything they need in one little compact pellet or one flake. So it can be their only diet. You know, you don't have to mix in frozen. We just like it. It's recommended. It's very highly nutritious, but it's definitely not necessary if you're including a pellet or flake of some kind. We have the micro pellets as well, which is really good for all your small fish. You know, keeping size in mind is super important. You obviously don't want to feed big pellets to tiny fish. It takes a very long time for those pellets to break down and for those fish to eat them, or the bigger fish eat all those big pellets before the small fish get to it. So just making sure you're getting the proper size food is always ideal as well. These are the flakes here. These are OSA tropical flakes. These are really good high quality flake. Again, they're all inclusive. They have everything that they need, all the vitamins and minerals, and it could be the only thing, you know, the only staple diet you feed them. You don't have to mix in other things because it has everything they need. But again, variety is good. Then we have freeze dried. It's not as popular of a food, but it's a good mix to add in as a treat for your fish. It's not as nutritionally sound as the frozen or the pellets because it's freeze dried, and it's a singular protein. For example, this is just krill, but it's a really good treat to give. And some fish really will go to this, as like a starter diet. Sometimes like arowanas, when we get babies in, they love to eat the krill. It's like the first thing they'll eat. And then we start getting them onto other foods as well. Then the last part I wanted to mention is this awesome product called VitaChem by Boyd Enterprises. This is a complete vitamin supplement for your fish. So I know like no one really thinks of giving their fish vitamins, but it actually is a pretty important part of their diet. And we do it here for all of our fish here at the store. So it's a very easy vitamin to use. It's a little squeeze bottle, and you just add a few drops onto their frozen food every day, and then you feed it to them, or you could add it onto the pellets. It's kind of hard for the flakes. It kind of just makes them like mushy and melt apart. But you could add it to the pellets, you could add it to the frozen food, and it gives them even more extra vitamins and minerals and good stuff for them to be healthy and happy.
Wait. You forgot the most important one. Live Daphnia.
If you guys want to learn more about the live Daphnia, which we have here at OSA Seacon, click the video up here in the corner and watch Joe talk all about it. Thank you guys so much for watching today, and I hope you enjoy, and I hope you come on in and pick up some new variety for your fish because it is important. Keep that in mind. And thank you guys so much, and I guess today, keep it salty and fresh.